Only 5% of learners will understand this emotional English story. Can you feel Anna's journey and improve your listening skills? My name is Anna, and I am 26 years old. I live in a small town by the sea, where the waves crash endlessly against the rocks. On the surface, my life looks simple, but inside, there is a truth I have hidden for years. Every morning, I walk to the same place, a wooden bench under an ancient tree. From there, I can see the horizon painted with light and hear the ocean singing its eternal song. I sit there quietly, holding an old letter in my trembling hands. The paper is yellow with time, and the ink has faded into shadows. I have carried this letter with me since childhood, but I have never had the courage to open it. The fear of its words has always been stronger than my curiosity. This letter belongs to my father, a man I never really knew. He left when I was only 5 years old, leaving behind silence and questions that nobody wanted to answer. My mother said he had reasons, but she never explained them to me. As a child, I watched other kids running into their father's arms at school. I forced a smile, pretending I was fine, but my heart ached with emptiness. Every hug they received reminded me of the arms that were never there for me. My mother worked 2 jobs, gave me books, and filled the house with love. She was both a warrior and a shelter, but even her strength could not erase the missing piece of my story. That missing piece was hidden in this fragile letter. One rainy evening, when I was 10, I asked her again about him. She pressed the letter into my hand and whispered, "One day, Anna, you will understand everything." Her eyes were tired, but her voice carried a strange kind of hope. Since that night, the letter has followed me everywhere. Every school, every house, every city I moved to it, stayed in my bag like a secret heartbeat. It became both my treasure and my prison, a constant reminder of unanswered questions. Years passed, and I built my life piece by piece. I studied, worked, and created routines that kept me busy. But in quiet moments, when the world grew silent, my eyes always returned to the folded paper, waiting for my courage. I often asked myself, why am I so afraid to read it? Perhaps because words are heavier than silence. Once read, they cannot be erased. Once spoken, they change everything. And maybe, deep down, I feared the truth would break me. One afternoon, while sitting on my usual bench, an old man approached. His steps were slow, but his eyes were filled with stories untold. He looked at me as if he had been searching for someone for a very long time. "Are you Anna?" he asked softly, his voice trembling like dry leaves in the wind. I froze, my heart pounding against my chest. How did he know my name, and why did his presence feel strangely familiar? "Yes, I'm Anna," I replied carefully, almost whispering. He smiled, and in that fragile smile, I felt a shadow of recognition. His gaze was heavy, as if he carried the weight of years and secrets too deep for words. "I knew your father," he said, and the world around me stopped moving. My body stiffened, my mind filled with 1,000 questions. For the first time, the silence surrounding my father began to crack open. "Was he a bad man?" I asked, my voice trembling like a child again. The old man shook his head slowly, his expression filled with sorrow and kindness at once. "No, child, he was not bad. He was broken." My throat tightened as I tried to breathe. What did that even mean, broken? The old man's eyes watered as he continued. "Your father left not because he didn't love you, but because sometimes love means distance." The words hit me harder than any storm. Love means distance. How can absence be love? My mind resisted the thought, but my heart whispered that maybe it was possible. Maybe love sometimes hides itself in sacrifice. The man touched my shoulder gently. Anna, the answers are in the letter. It is time to read it. The truth will not destroy you, it will set you free. His voice was soft, but it carried the weight of finality. That night, I could not sleep. I placed the letter on my desk and stared at it for hours. My hands trembled each time I tried to unfold it, but fear froze me in place. The unknown felt safer than the truth, and so, I decided to wait until morning. When the sun rose, I would walk to the bench by the sea, and I would open it there. If my father's voice was inside, I wanted the ocean to hear it too. Now let me ask you, the listener, do you understand why Anna hesitated? Think carefully, because this is the test. It is not just about words, but about the silence that surrounds them. If you answered, she was afraid of the truth, you are correct, but that is only part of it. She was also afraid of losing the version of her father she had imagined all her life. That fear is even heavier. This is the secret of listening. It is not only about hearing sounds, but about feeling the meaning behind them. If you caught this, your English listening is improving. If not, go back and hear it again. Remember, this story is both a lesson and a mirror. The more carefully you listen, the more you understand not just the language, but the emotion hidden inside it. English is not only grammar, it is life itself. Now, let us return to Anna. The sun is rising, the ocean is awake, and the letter is waiting. With trembling hands, she finally unfolds the paper, and with one deep breath, she begins to read. The letter began with shaky handwriting, as if each word carried pain. My dearest Anna, if you are reading this, it means life has kept me far from you. Her eyes filled with tears before she reached the second line. I never wanted to leave, the letter continued, but I was sick, and I did not want you to grow up watching me fade away. I wanted your memory of me to be whole, not broken. Anna's hands shook as she read the words. The man she thought had abandoned her had, in fact, left to protect her. He carried his sickness in silence, believing distance would shield her from pain. Every birthday I thought of you, the letter went on. I whispered your name into the night sky, praying you would feel it somehow. My love for you never left, not even for one breath. Tears blurred the ink as Anna's heart broke and healed at the same time. She could almost hear her father's voice, weak yet filled with devotion. Each sentence pulled her closer to the man she had never known. Forgive me, Anna, the letter pleaded. I was not strong enough to stay, but I wanted you to grow strong without seeing me fall apart. Please, live a life braver than mine. The bench under the tree seemed to vanish. The ocean roared louder, as if carrying his voice across the waves. She felt the distance of years collapsing into one fragile, powerful moment. If someday you feel alone, remember this. Love does not end with absence. Love is greater than presence. It is a fire that continues to burn even when the person is gone. Anna gasped, pressing the paper to her chest. For years, she had believed she was unwanted, but now, she realized she had been loved beyond measure just in a way she could not see. The final lines read, Do not let pain define you. Let love guide you. I am proud of you, even from afar. With endless love, your father. And then the words ended, but the silence carried on. Anna closed her eyes, and the tears fell freely. She felt her father's absence, but also his presence. It was as if the sea itself whispered his final goodbye through the rhythm of its waves. For the first time, she did not feel broken. She felt whole because truth, no matter how heavy, is lighter than doubt. The silence of years was finally replaced with words that gave her peace. She sat on the bench until the sun climbed high. Children laughed in the distance, and the town woke up slowly. Yet in her heart, something eternal had awakened, forgiveness and freedom. The old man who had spoken to her returned quietly. He saw her tear-stained face and nodded. "You read it," he said. Anna only nodded back, unable to speak. Words were too small for what she felt. "Do you understand now?" the man asked gently. She wiped her eyes and whispered, "Yes. He loved me, even from far away." The old man smiled, and in his smile, she saw echoes of her father's face. She realized the man was more than a stranger. He had been her father's closest friend, the keeper of his last wish. He had waited all these years to see the letter finally opened. "Your father was proud of you every single day," he said. "He wanted me to tell you, but he also wanted you to hear it from him. That is why the letter was written." Anna hugged the letter tightly and whispered, "Thank you." She wasn't sure if she spoke to the man, to her father, or to the universe itself. But she felt heard, completely heard, for the first time. The old man placed a hand on her shoulder. "Now, live your life, Anna. Carry his love, not his absence. That is how you honor him." And with that, he walked away into the distance. Anna stayed on the bench for hours, reading the letter again and again. Each time, the words grew deeper, transforming pain into strength. The wound of years was slowly becoming a scar of love. Now I ask you, dear listener, did you understand why Anna cried? It was not only sadness, it was release. She cried because love had always been there, hidden behind silence. If you understood this, you are not just learning English, you are learning how to hear emotions inside words. This is the secret that only true listeners can unlock. The story is not only about Anna and her father, it is also about you. How many times have you misunderstood silence? How many times have you confused distance with lack of love? To understand English fully, you must listen beyond the surface. Words carry emotions, and emotions carry truths. If you caught this, your listening skills are growing stronger. But if you missed it, do not worry. Replay the story, feel it again, and let the meaning sink deeper. Every time you listen, you are not just practicing English, you are practicing understanding. Anna walked back home with the letter pressed against her heart. For the first time, she felt connected not only to her father, but to every moment of love she had ever known. She realized that absence does not erase love. It sometimes proves it, because love is not measured by presence, but by the sacrifices someone is willing to make for you. The town seemed brighter, the streets warmer, the air lighter. Everything looked the same, yet nothing truly was. When the truth enters your heart, the whole world changes with it. That evening, Anna placed the letter in a small box beside her bed. It was no longer a prison of unanswered questions. It had become a key that unlocked her peace. She whispered into the night, "I love you too, Dad." And in the silence that followed, she no longer felt alone. Love had crossed time and distance to reach her, and that was enough. From that day, Anna promised herself to live bravely, just as her father had wished. She would not let fear or silence steal her future. She would carry his love like a flame inside her. Her steps grew lighter, her smile deeper. People around her noticed the change, but they did not know the secret. Only Anna knew the power of words she had finally dared to read. Life moved forward, but Anna no longer looked back with pain. She looked back with gratitude, knowing even broken love is still loved. It has the power to heal. The ocean kept singing, the bench remained, and the letter rested safely. But Anna herself had been transformed forever. She had found freedom inside the truth. And this, dear listener, is the story that only 5% truly understand. Did you? Or did you only hear the words without feeling their meaning? That is the real challenge. If you stayed until now, it means you are part of the few who truly listen. Not everyone reaches this far. Many stop halfway. But you stayed with Anna until the very end. That makes you different. That makes you stronger. Because English is not just about learning words. It is about learning how to feel them, how to live them, how to connect them to your own story. Remember this: every word has a heart, every sentence has a soul, and every story has a hidden truth, waiting for someone brave enough to hear it. Anna's story may be fiction, but the lesson is real. Distance does not mean lack of love. Silence does not always mean absence. And English, like life, is full of messages between the lines. If you want to grow, listen again. Each time, you will hear something new. And the more you listen, the closer you will be to mastering not just English, but understanding itself. Now take this challenge. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe they will understand English. Maybe they will understand life. Maybe both. Stories like this are not meant to be kept hidden. They are meant to travel, to inspire, to remind people of what truly matters. That is why you are here, because you are part of that mission. So, will you stop at listening, or will you take the next step? The choice is yours. But remember, only a few dare to go beyond the surface. Only a few truly understand. Anna's father once wrote, "Do not let pain define you. Let love guide you." These words are not just for her. They are for you, right now, in this very moment. Carry them with you, repeat them, and let them change you. Because language is not about memory, it is about transformation. Let these words transform you. And when you face silence in your own life, do not fear it. Ask yourself, what is hidden inside this silence? What truth is waiting to be discovered? You may find that silence is not emptiness at all. It is simply another language, one that requires the heart to translate. Listen closely, and you will understand. Now, breathe deeply, and let this story settle inside you. It is not the end. It is the beginning of a new way of listening, a new way of learning, a new way of living. If you are still here, you are already part of the 5%. You proved it. You listened. You felt. You understood. That is something rare, something powerful, something unforgettable. And so, this story ends not with silence, but with a challenge. Never stop listening. Never stop feeling. Never stop learning. Because life, like English, is always speaking if you dare to hear it.